What would you say if I told you that you could use your flashlight for self-defense? Today we're talking about a flashlight that has a feature set designed specifically for that happening. And while it is true that we live in a day and age where most people would rather bury their heads in the sand and not think about it, it doesn't change the fact that every now and then we run into a situation that might be a little bit sticky. Do you turn to your pocket knife? Do you turn to a concealed carry firearm? Or do you turn to your flashlight? Today we're going to talk about the Nitecore EDC 33. Let's check it out.
This is Sparta!
Hey, how's it going, everybody? If you're new here, welcome in. And if you've been here before, welcome back. I'm Rollshambo, the connoisseur and collector of all things sharp and shiny. And today I'm excited to talk about what I consider to be potentially the coolest flashlight released this year for those who like EDC flashlights that have multiple purposes. And shout out to Nitecore for sending this my way for review. If you guys decide that you want to pick one of these up, they are currently available for $69, and I will make sure to link that in the description down below. Let's go ahead and get into it. This is a light that I've been carrying solidly for the last 5 or 6 days, and I have to say I am very, very impressed with what Nitecore has to offer in the EDC 33. This is a light that fills so many voids for me, and I think it also solves a problem for those who are in a situation where maybe you can't carry a knife for self-defense. Maybe you can't carry a firearm for self-defense, but you still want a product that could help you out in a sticky situation. And that has a lot to do with the feature that they're calling Lumen Shield. Now, I'll get more into that in a little bit. First, let's go over some of the bread and butter. On the box, it will tell you some very basic information. For example, it says that there's a 4,000 max lumen output with a max distance of about 450 meters. The max intensity is 54,500 candela. It has 2 meter impact resistance, and it's also submersible up to 2 meters with the IP68 resistance. In the box, you'll find a pocket clip, a lanyard, and the USB-C charging cable. Now, I did not put the lanyard on here because typically when I carry a light, I just carry it in my pocket. But the lanyard is nice if you want to clip it to something. It does, of course, come with a clip. So you can put it on the light and then clip it to something like a backpack or a belt loop, whatever your flavor really is. When it comes down to brass tacks for this EDC 33, it features 6 lighting modes. Those lighting modes are going to be ultra low, low, mid, high, search, and lumen shield. In the ultra low mode, it's 5 lumens. It'll last for 63 hours. In the low mode, it's 70 lumens. That will last you for 31 hours of runtime. Mid will be 300 lumens at just shy of 7 hours of runtime. High is an impressive 1200 lumens. That will last 2.5 hours of runtime. And then, of course, you have the search and lumen shield features. Search is 1700 lumens, but it's 54,500 candela. Meanwhile, lumen shield is 4,000 lumens, and that is 40,505 candela. So as you could tell, this light is 100% packing a punch. It features a built-in 18650 battery, which is USB-C rechargeable. This USB-C rechargeable port is, of course, covered by the tail cap, and you can cover it up by just rotating that tail cap, or you can open it up. It also has a feature called rapid lock. Now, as someone that carries flashlights in their pocket, I actually really like the rapid lock. It's this switch right here. When you can see the lock signal, it is, of course, locked If you can't see the lock sign, it is unlocked. Now, aside from that being really cool and useful and nifty, it also has a feature called half lockout mode. Now, half lockout mode is really cool because it allows you to still access some features of the light without being completely unlocked. I like lockout mode because it allows me to carry a light in my pocket and not worry about my day-to-day accidentally turning on the light in my pocket. Guys, it's 4,000 lumens. You see this sign up here at the top? This is a 9-core UHI LED max head, and that gets very hot. You don't want it burning a hole in your pocket, so that lockout mode is rather nice. And being able to choose between a full lockout mode or a half lockout mode is something that I really find extremely useful. To turn on the light, you operate by fully clicking that tail cap. Now, because this light also features memorization, or remember whatever mode you were in last. So if you had it in high last, it'll come back in high. If you had it in mid last, it'll come back to mid, so on and so forth. It also features this battery indicator, which will tell you how much battery life you have left. And then switching between the light modes is as easy as just doing a half press. It's very quick. It's very intuitive. You don't have to press and hold a button and wait for it to decide what to do. You can just put it in whatever mode you want very quickly. Aside from that, if you press and hold on a half click, it'll go into search mode. And if you press and hold on a full click, it'll go into lumen shield mode. Now, I do want to mention, they do not tell you how long you should or can hold out in those emergency modes. And I would rather suggest being cautious with that. In my testing, I found that in using those high-powered modes, the head did get really hot, but I haven't experienced any issue with it overheating so far. For most people's purposes, high, medium, and low modes are going to do just fine, and then for those emergency situations, you can, of course, use search or lumen shield, and it will, of course, get the job done. Now, I did mention that I was going to tell you how the half lockout mode works. That's rather simple. With the light turned on, press and hold in a half click and then put it in the lockout mode. Now, we are in half lockout mode, and you'll notice that a full click does nothing. You have the extra protection of making sure that your pocket doesn't accidentally set this off. However, you can still access the search and lumen shield modes by either holding a half press or holding a full press. So that's rather nifty because now you don't have to worry about accessing those modes in an emergency situation and having to rapidly unlock it, even though you could. Even though it's locked in a half lockout mode, you can still access both search and lumen shield. I think that is rather fantastic. Now, to give you an idea of just how high performance this is for $69, I want to compare it against my beloved Olight Baton 3 Pro Max. However, I don't necessarily know if it packs as much punch as the EDC 33. For example, while this one has 4,000 lumens, this one only has 2,500 lumens. This one has 54,000 peak candela output, and this one has more like 12,000 peak candela output. Now, they are two different lights, and I do want to mention that this one is going to be more of an EDC close range floodlight. And yes, it does give you some other features that are nice, like a reversible pocket clip and a magnetic tail cap. But aside from that, for almost half the price, you're getting twice the output. You're getting twice the utility, and it's really, really noticeable when we put it to a light test. So far, I should have had some beam tests showing up on the screen throughout, and you can just see just how much more powerful this UHI 20 Max LED head is compared to the LED head on the Olight Baton 3 Pro Max. So ultimately, I'm impressed. If you're not a huge fan of Olight, or maybe you just want something that's very powerful and it can remain in your pocket throughout the day, this could very well be the answer. If you're someone who wants to carry something for self-defense, but you can't carry a knife or you can't carry a pistol, this is not a bad backup option at all. Take it from me, I accidentally hit the lumen shield in my dark house in the middle of the night just to see how well it performed, and even standing behind the light, light, I felt momentarily blinded. So imagine being on the receiving end of the lumen shield on this light. But now it's time that we have the discussion in the comment section down below. If you haven't done so yet, head on down there and let me know what you think of the brand new Nitecore EDC 33. Are you going to pick one up? If not, why not? Do you like this light? And if you don't want to have a discussion, just leave a comment with your favorite emoji. Guys, if you want to watch more awesome knife and EDC content, make sure to hit subscribe and click on one of the videos that pops up next.